Hello again, my name is Heather. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting a reading vlog where I read nothing but dark romance for an entire week. So excited about this. I haven't read dark romance in a while and I just had the urge to read some dark romance, like literally last night. And I started on a book, so I cheated a little bit. But we're gonna go from, today's Thursday, we're gonna go from Thursday to Thursday, see how many books I can pack into this. I have 4 books already that I am planning on reading in this reading vlog. Like, done reading them, you know, and I'll tell you how I feel about them. If I have more time in this reading vlog, then I will pick some from my Kindle. I have quite a few on my Kindle. I also have quite a few on my bookshelves. So I'm not really sure where this video is going to go, honestly, but I will show you the books that I have already picked out. Some of these books I don't really know a bunch about, and I don't want to. That's how I like my dark romances. If I hear it's a dark romance, I'm like, okay, give it to me. So, yeah. But the first one that we're going to talk about is Cruel Black Hearts by Candice Wondrak. My computer just went off. Candice Wondrak. This is the one that I started reading last night. I got to 106, so I'm not quite at the halfway point, but this is about a girl named Stella, or a woman named Stella, and she is a very awkward person. She is a journalist as well. She likes to write about serial killers in general, and she has caught the attention of a guy named Ed and his friend Lincoln, and we find out very early that they are both killers, like serial killers, and now she is on their radar. So there's that. It's a dark romance. It's kind of taboo. It's 2 guys, 1 girl. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I read 106 pages last night in basically one sitting. So obviously it has me. Okay, it has me. Not a lot has really happened yet besides them meeting and a weird dude in a coffee shop, but regardless, I'm enjoying myself. So there's that book. The next book I have is supposed to be like a Peter Pan inspired book, Hooked, but it says that it's not a retelling, and it says in the what's that page called for the acknowledgement? No. Anyways, it says for anyone who has the villain in somebody else's story. So it's about supposed to be like inspired by Captain Hook, and a good girl. He wants revenge, but he wants her more. So that's all I need to know. It's a revenge story, but he's gonna get the girl. Then we have Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I have been wanting to read this for forever. It's been on my bookshelf for a really long time. I just know that it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. So, you know, I love a good Hades and Persephone retelling. And then I've also had this book on my radar for a really long time. It's The Devil You Know by Claire Marta. And I just know that she is an assassin, and she is very good looking, and she attracts a bunch of dudes. And that's all I want to know, okay? So those are the 4 books that I have on my TBR currently that I am going to be reading in this reading vlog. I read dark romance very, very quickly, so hopefully we'll have more than 4 books. But if we don't, those are the 4 that we are going to talk about. And again, I will fill you in when I get to the halfway mark of, obviously, this one. And I'll let you know how I feel. And then we'll continue. And I'll take you along my week, which is probably going to be in this same spot because that's usually how it goes since I work from home now. Anyways, that's what this reading vlog is all about. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button and let's get to it. Let's read some dark romance. Woo woo! So I'm at the halfway mark, and there's really nothing to like explain other than what I already explained earlier, you know, except that Lincoln's something else. And yeah, we already know that he's a killer and stuff like that, but what he just did, I'm like, okay, he's something else, okay? He's got a lot of rage. Ed is the nicer of the 2, but he is also really messed up, and I I don't remember if I told you this earlier, but they share everything, women included. And yeah. Oh, and Stella is a good girl. You know, love at first sight. Well, not love at first sight, but she's fallen hard for these guys. And some of the language in this book, like the way that Stella is describing how she wants these guys to, you know, fawn over her and stuff like that, is just making me giggle. But yeah, otherwise it's okay. Like, I'm enjoying it. It is dark. It's very dark. And you are getting like the psychological aspect of Ed and Lincoln, and Stella too, but like Ed and Lincoln, you're getting their insights on why they do what they do and just some of their past things as well. Stella doesn't have a very good past with her parents either. And she's just a loner. So there's my update. But I'm going to continue reading. I'm probably going to finish this tonight. It's a very quick read. So finish this tonight. And it's a series, so it's short. There you go. Update complete. Happy Friday. I just got done eating my lunch. And I wanted to talk to you about this book right here because I finished it last night. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It wasn't a horrible book by any means. It was more of one of those books that like told you what was happening rather than showing you what was happening, and that's a big pet peeve of mine, especially in my romance. Now the steamy scenes, they were steamy. They were very, very steamy. But the other scenes, they were just, like I said, it was just more like explaining about the characters rather than showing us who the characters were. Stella is one of those characters that all the men love. She's a very naive, well, I wouldn't say that she's naive, but she's very quiet, she's very reserved, she's awkward, and then she has different color eyeballs. I can't remember how to say it, but her eyes are different colors, so she's very unique in that way, and all the dudes want her. So cool, there's that. Then she ends up meeting Lincoln and Ed. They are both killers, and Ed is fascinated by Stella because she writes a blog, plus she's also a journalist. My arm's about to fall off. I don't know why I do this every single time. Also looks like it's going to rain per usual, but Ed is obsessed with Stella in a way that he really wants to meet her, so he finds out, like he stalks her and he finds out where she's going one night, and they meet, and then she goes home with him and ends up meeting his roommate and basically bro, Lincoln, and they have a night all together. Lincoln doesn't like her. He thinks that she is ruining Ed and him and Ed's connection that they have because they share everything together. They kill together, all that kind of stuff. But then there's this serial killer that's running around, and Stella becomes very obsessed with him as well, and she wants to find out who he is. So that's just like the main premise of the book. There's a lot of steamy in here, so if you're looking for that, there you go. It is a very dark book. It dives deep into some really dark themes and really dark topics. It also talks about mental health. It talks about just how society views serial killers and how a lot of people, or like true crime in general, and how people are obsessed with it, and that line that is crossed where people, that obsession becomes like their life obsession, you know, rather than thinking about true crime as like these are like actual people and things that have horrible things that have actually happened to them, right? But we see that line being crossed in here a few times. Other than that, it was a pretty, it was a quick story. I flew through it. I plan on reading the second book in the series. I hear that it's better than this one. Has a little bit of a higher rating too. But like I said, 3 stars, not a horrible book. It was just one of those books that it was very easy to read. It was very easy to get through. but it didn't show me enough. I wanted more from it. I think if it was about 100 pages more, it would have been like a 4.5 star. So not bad. But I did go ahead and download the second book on my Kindle because I'm one of those people. The ending, I was like, why did it end right there? Like, it could have kept going. I wanted to know. There's some things about Stella that come up at the end of the book, and I'm like, I want to know. So now I have to read the second book because I'm nosy. Then I started to read. Oh, please, I forgot to grab it. Oh, my shoe came off. Because you need to know that. I started to read Hook last night. I only got to about 45 pages last night before I fell asleep. And this is a Peter Pan inspired romance. We have James in here, who is also called Hook because he has a knife that is the shape of a hook. And then we have Wendy, and Wendy is the daughter of one of James's nemesises. Is that how you say it? Nemesis. Anyways, he doesn't like him. So he has this whole plan to like make Wendy fall in love with him and crush her soul and then give her back to her dad. So that's the vibe here. I don't know. Like I said, I'm only 45 pages into it. Wendy is a 20-year-old that's, again, naive. And James is a stone cold killer. So we'll see. But I'm liking the vibes in here so far, even though I know I just like did that whole sarcastic thing, but I'm liking the vibes so far. It's showing me more. That nasty cough. It's all right here, right now. It's working its way out of my body. I feel better, and I'm excited to continue reading this after work today. And after we go pick up the baby from daycare, we are going to go to the bookstore. So I'll show you around the bookstore and then come back home and show you what I got and continue reading some dark romance. Yay! Happy Friday! Barnes & Noble. So I'm going to show you what I got. Very exciting. It's all romance because, you know, I'm in my romance mood at the moment. Got this one. This is a historical romance. It's called A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. And I read the first sentence, and it says, when Viola Carroll was presumed dead at Waterloo, she took the opportunity to live at last as herself. And I was like, you go girl, I'm buying you. So the first line hooked me on the synopsis of that book, so that's why I bought it. Next one is Stay Gold, and this is by Tobley McSmith. And this is a retelling of The Outsiders. So I've been wanting to read this for a while. There is LGBTQA+ representation in here, and I'm very excited to read about it. And this cover is gorgeous. Like, that cover is so pretty. So got that. The next one I got, I'm excited about this one. I've heard really cute things about this. It says my roommate is a vampire. This is by Jenna Levine, and I think this is going to be a super cute, like, paranormally monster-y romance, and I'm very excited about it. It says it's a romantic comedy, so we shall see. And then the last book that I bought is this. This thing was freaking $30, so this better like transform my life, okay? But I've been wanting to get this book so I can do I finally read this book and I have thoughts video, and I've heard nothing but really good things about this. Everybody loves it. It has over a 4.4 rating on Goodreads with like, I think over 400,000 people who have read it. So it better be good. That's all I gotta say, is it better be good. Everyone, like I said, that I have talked to or have seen has read this, has absolutely loved it. And I also have the audiobook on Scribd. So finally have this honkin' book. But now I'm gonna go take a bath, and then after I get out of my bath, I'm gonna continue reading Hooked. But I just wanted to fill you in on what I got at Barnes & Noble. Plus I got a cookie. Cookies are important. It's late, but I wanted to update you and let you know that I'm a little over halfway, well, more than a little over halfway, about 65% into this book. And I am glad that James finally realized that he's an idiot, okay? Like, he finally internally realized that, okay, he's dumb. And I hope that he has to grapple to get Wendy back, because as I said before, he already knows who Wendy is. He's going into this relationship with alternate motives. Is that the right thing? Anyways, he's going into this relationship with not true intentions, so he can get back at her father. And when he finally realizes that he done messed up, I'm like, yes, okay, so now we can get to like the grappling, and we can get to Wendy finally finding her voice and finally putting people in their places, and I'm just really excited about that. I hope that I get that. I have a feeling it's going to go that way. So far, this story has just been finding out what happened to James in his past, which was also really sad, and the thing that happened to where James went after Wendy when he shouldn't have. It was really sad. Like, that part was really sad, and I feel for him because he doesn't have anybody, doesn't have any family. And then I also feel bad for Wendy because she has been abandoned by her father for pretty much her entire life. And they're two lost people. And James, he is a hard person, always had to be, always had to fight for himself, whereas Wendy, even though she didn't have a loving father or parent at home, she has always been a little sheltered, and she has always been taken care of, where James is the complete opposite. Didn't have family, wasn't taken care of, was abused when he was little, those type of things, okay? So those are the type of like themes and tropes that are going on in here. But I mean, I'm flying through it. Like, I'm really flying through it. It's not bad at all, but I'm just so glad that James finally realized that he is dumb, and I hope Wendy just gives it right back to him. That's my hope. So we'll see. I'm gonna continue reading and watch some Braves baseball. Go Braves. Here to update you on this vlog. I finished this last night. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It really wasn't a bad romance by any means. James was able to redeem himself at the end and really show that he actually did care for Wendy, and Wendy was able to find her voice and take up for herself finally against her father and against all the other people that had talked down to her in her entire life. So these two characters really do complement each other very well, in my opinion. There are some things that they're like, obviously there are some things that I don't agree with in here, but I just like the submission, like the submissive personality that Wendy has and everything. But you know, whatever floats your boat, that's on you, whatever floats your boat. But it wasn't a bad romance by any means, and I'm going to continue with the series. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, so there's that. Then I started reading this morning. It's The Devil You Know by Claire Marta. This is about a chick named Mavi, and she is an assassin. I didn't realize this going into it, but this has a paranormal aspect to it as well. And I thought it was just like a metaphorical devil, but it's the actual devil. She's on this team with this group of people, and they fight with Gabriel, who is the archangel, and they're just kind of a ragtag team, but they get the job done and fight demons and all that kind of stuff. So so far it's so good. She met a guy named Max. They had a good night together, and now she can't stop thinking about him, and yada yada yada. So it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. I flew through 75 pages this morning before we dropped our baby off at my parents' house, and then we went all over the place. We went grocery shopping, we went to a couple of stores, we went to some antique stores. To go to antique stores, and we went to a couple farmers markets. I'm gonna take a video every day today. And I guess those are muscadines. And at one of the antique stores, weirdly enough, I found some freeze-dry Skittles. I've been seeing these everywhere, and evidently they're very popular because they were at every single little antique store that we have. Around here we have antique stores that have like booths set in them, so it's not all antiques, it's kind of like crafts and stuff like that, but I call them antique stores because there's a lot of old stuff in them too. But these are air dried Skittles, so we're going to try them out and see how they are. Tastes just like a Skittle, except not as squishy. It's crunchy. You hear it? It's a Skittle in a puff form. There's Puppy. Cool. But football comes on tonight. I'm gonna read this book. We're gonna cook some dinner. We're gonna have a mom and dad night without a baby. So hopefully I get a lot of reading done. And when I'm 50% into this book, I'll let you know. But that's pretty much it. I guess I should have told you a little bit more about this. I remember telling you about James and Wendy, and I remember you telling you about their whole backstory. But as the story progresses, you really see why James is the way he is, even though it's not okay all the time. But the twist that was in here, I kind of saw it coming, but I really liked the twist, even if I saw it coming or not. Or even though I saw it coming, you know. And that's when Wendy was able to find her voice and find her backbone, and I really like that in my female characters. I also really like the fact that the author put character profiles in the back of her book, so you can see her thought process, you can see the questions, you can see basically why they are the way they are, and get a little bit more of a backstory on them that you didn't get in the actual book, and it all comes together and it makes sense. So, hello, just washed my hair. It is Sunday, so woohoo, happy Sunday. It's Labor Day weekend as well, so a lot of people don't have to work tomorrow. I am choosing to work tomorrow so I can bank some holiday time. But in the meantime, I have been reading this. I am a little over halfway. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Mavi is an assassin, and she gets together with this dude named Max, and she knows that he's not human, but she doesn't know what he is because there's like werewolves, there's demons, there's other paranormal things that are running around the city, and she doesn't know what he is, but she finds out what he is, and then she like freaks out because it's real bad. So her team and her are trying to figure out what's going on between Lucifer and his four commanders, because the commanders have gone against Lucifer, which has caused a big rift in hell, and the demons are against each other. Everyone's fighting against each other. They're just trying to keep the peace. We also find something out about Mavi, about the halfway mark. That was a pretty good twist. I enjoyed it. The only thing that I can say about this book is that some of the editing in this book is kind of throwing me for a loop, because there are names that are there that aren't supposed to be there, but I can comprehend what the author's trying to say. So that's just kind of throwing me off my groove a little bit. But other than that, I'm enjoying it. Like, it's a fast-paced story. It's got a lot of brutal scenes in it. I will say, read the trigger warnings before you go into it. There are no trigger warnings listed at the beginning of this, but I would say obviously murder. She's an assassin. There is rape in here. There is drug and alcohol abuse in here. There's talk about mental health in here. So it's a dark romance. So you're gonna get all of those things for the most part in every single dark romance you read. But this goes in detail in a couple scenes. So if that's not for you, then I mean, read it at your own risk, but I'm just letting you know. But I mean, it's not a bad book by any means, and I am enjoying my time in it. There's a lot of steamy in here. It's considered an erotica. So if you know if you've ever read an erotica and you like dark romance, pick this up. It'll probably be right up your alley. But again, I am enjoying the paranormal aspect to this. I was not expecting it going into it, so it was a very good surprise. So halfway mark. Plan on finishing this probably tonight. And I'm gonna go cook dinner for my baby and me, and watch the rest of the Braves play, and read, and probably watch some kitty shows, and then do my hair later. But yeah, so updating you. Happy Sunday. Either see you later or see you tomorrow. Happy Monday and happy Labor Day if you celebrate Labor Day. I decided to work today so I could make some holiday time, but I wanted to let you know that I finished the Devil You Know last night, and I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. This book kept me intrigued pretty much the entire time. It was a very fast read. It was a fun read for me. Mavi is an assassin, and she meets this guy named Max, and Mavi's like entire life has been she has everything in order, right? But then when she meets Max and they have their one night together, she can do nothing but think about him, and then she starts seeing him on a more regular basis, and then her life just starts going like this. There is a twist in here, and we find out who Max really is. I mean, obviously you can read between the lines, but I'm not going to tell you who he is. But they have very steamy scenes. I felt like they had a connection. But one of the things that I did not like about this book, for real, is how Max treated Mavi. Like, I enjoy male characters, or I enjoy characters that are mean to everybody else, but they have a soft spot for their person. But he was just a butthole the entire time, except like the last like 50 pages of the book, and I was waiting for that the entire time, because he was really just an ass for no reason to her, and he just wanted to overpower her, and he wanted to dominate her, and he just, I don't know, it kind of punched me, or not punched me, he kind of me in the wrong way, you know. But Mavi enjoyed it, which, whatever Fletch spoke, you know, I don't really like over dominating characters like that, but I did like the fact that we got to see a lot of Mavi's work. She's an assassin, like I said. She shows no remorse for what she does. She enjoys what she does. She enjoys killing bad people, and she really likes it a lot, which, okay. But Max, like I said, we find out what he actually does and who he actually is in here. And Mavi goes on an adventure, and she is pulled in many different directions. The only like stable thing in her life is her brother, but her brother is in a comatose state, and he's been like that since he was 12 because of the situation that happened. And she also has it's like a ragtag group of people that she works for. She works for Archangel Gabriel, and then she has these 2 other people that she works with too. So, no, 3 people that she works with: Snatch, Leo, and Caesar. So there's demons, there's werewolves, there's vampires, there's succubuses, there's all kinds of things in here that I was not expecting. So that was a very good surprise for me. It's a pleasant surprise. So if you're looking for dark paranormal erotica, this is for you. But just know going in that Max, he's a douche. He really is. He's just not very nice. But there's also BDSM in here too, so if that's not your thing, then I would avoid this. If it is your thing, or if you like reading about it, or if you're interested in it, it's in here, but just letting you know. So finish that. And I am going to continue with the series because the last chapter really like drew me in, and then it ended and I was like, ugh. So I already downloaded the second book. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Now I'm reading Neon Gods by Katee Robert. This is a Persephone and Hades retelling. I really like Persephone and Hades retellings. And kind of like counteracting this book, a lot of times Hades has a very soft spot for Persephone in like every single retelling that I've ever read before. So I'm excited about that. Like I like my male characters to be super brooding and grumpy and just like screw everybody else, but when it comes to their lover, I like it when they have a soft spot. So that is that. I'm going to continue reading this. When I'm halfway through, I'll let you know. Again, happy Labor Day if you celebrate it. Hope you have a good Monday. And I'll either see you later on today, or I'll see you tomorrow. We shall see. By the way, I've already eaten my lunch. I ate some cup noodles. They were delicious. Okay, bye. I am halfway, or a little over half. Yep, a little over halfway through this, and I am enjoying it. It's keeping me very interested. It is very steamy. I like Persephone in here. She is one of those characters that has to act very innocent, but she's actually really not, and I am very much enjoying that. And then we also have Hades, who we know that he has he has to portray himself as a bad guy. He has to portray himself as somebody that he can't easily be run over because he has literally an entire kingdom that, you know, he has to take care of. So he portrays himself as that, and he also has a little bit of a dark side too, obviously. But he is very soft towards Persephone, but he's also very sarcastic. He has a dry sense of humor. He has a dark sense of humor, which I really enjoy. And their chemistry is just like, their chemistry is just everything, you know, and I'm really enjoying it. It's got some steamy scenes. It does have BDSM in here as well, but it is more geared towards the consent side of it rather than, like, you know, how sometimes books portray BDSM as just like brutality, but it's not like that in here. I'm really enjoying all the side characters. I like Katee Roberts' perception of the gods because they're not like your typical Greek gods where they have lived for millions and millions of years, you know. Each generation takes over for the like the newer generations take over for the older generations, so it's not the same person the entire time. They just take over that specific spot. So we do have a Zeus, we do have a Hermes, we do have all of those characters, but it's not the same person for forever. So in my opinion, sometimes those get a little bit gross because, you know, we have Zeus, who is a man whore, and he just goes around and he likes to do whatever he does to women, but he's also like 1,000,000 years old and it's really disgusting. So it's not like that in this book at all. So I'm really enjoying that as well, just that kind of twist to Greek mythology a little bit. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm also liking, like I said, all the side characters. I really like Persephone's sisters. You already know that going into this book that Persephone's sisters are going to get their own books, which I am very excited about. Especially Castillo. She seems like she is a force to be reckoned with, and I am all for that. But I know that the next book is about Eros and Psyche. So we'll get Castillo's book eventually. Anyways, enjoying it. Gonna finish this tonight most likely, and then I will let you know my rating. It's probably gonna be a high one, obviously, since I'm praising this book so much right now. If it continues the way that it's going. Oh, also, Persephone ran away because she was supposed to be married to Zeus in this story, and that's how she met Hades. But okay. Hello. Checking in, letting you know that I finished this, giving it 4 stars. I really like this twist on Hades and Persephone. I liked how excuse me, I liked how the author portrayed these 2 characters. I liked how she portrayed all of the other gods and goddesses as well, and how instead of it just being one person the entire time being that role, it was like a once someone dies or once someone steps down, a new person takes over the role, like their heir or whatever. So I like that aspect of it as well, and it was just, all in all, it was a pretty good romance for me. Again, I gave it 4 stars. There were just some things in here that kind of got repetitive, but overall, it was really, really good, and I enjoyed it. And I'm going to continue on with the series. So, highly recommend this book if you're looking for a good Hades and Persephone retelling that has a lot of steam in it. They also have really good open communication, and the twist at the end did not get on my nerves, so there's that. And I told you that if I got through all 4 of those books, I was going to pick up another one, and I started reading another book last night, which is Killing Sari. I believe that's how you pronounce this name. And this is about a woman named Sari who was taken from her family at the age of 14, and she's been gone for 9 years, and she was essentially in the person who took her is a drug lord. She was his captive, and she was like his favorite captive or whatever, and she escaped, and now she's with this guy named Victor, who was actually an assassin who was supposed to kill somebody for the guy that stole her, or the guy that took her. And now that they are on the run, and they're supposed to have a romance. This is a very slow burn, but it is very brutal. It is very dark. There is a lot of talk in here of sexual assault. There's a lot of talk in here of just physical abuse in general. So if you're wanting to read this book, go into that knowing that. Obviously there's murder. So this book has a lot of tropes and a lot of themes that are very dark. But essentially, Victor is trying to help Sari, like, start her life over because she's been gone for 9 years. She doesn't know how to be in society. In the book, it even said that she knows how prisoners feel when they get out and they're just like let out in the world, and they're been like, okay, go have fun, be safe, don't do anything bad, you know. They don't really know what to do. They don't know how to act out in public or out in the real world when they've been and they've been in prison for so long, you know. So there's just some discussions about that, and I am almost at the 50% mark of this book, so I'm enjoying it so far. And today is happy National Read a Book Day. Today is Wednesday, so happy National Read a Book Day. Go read a book. I plan on reading tonight after I get off work, and I'm gonna eat my salad that I'm finally getting to eat for today. But that's it. So that is my update. I think this vlog is going pretty well, but at the end we'll you know, discuss like we always do. I want to let you know it's been a day today. But I also wanted to let you know that I finished Killing Sari. Say that this book, I finished it. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. It was almost the perfect suspense romance for me. It's a dark suspense romance. It was almost perfect, but there was just some things that I clocked, you know, on in my reading journey through it. But all in all, it was fast paced. It had a lot of action. Wow, if I can speak. Had a lot of action in it. It also, the Victor and Sari, they communicated very well for the most part, and the development of their relationship was not super fast. They had a lot of attraction towards each other, but Victor was very standoffish at first because he's an assassin. His lifestyle is not very susceptible to a relationship. Plus, he wanted Sari to have her own life because she was held captive for 9 years, and those fundamental years of teenage years, you know, she wasn't able to do what normal teenagers do, and she wasn't able to explore the world, and he really wanted her to do that, which I can, like, that was like to my heart, you know. It made my heart go boo 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 a little bit. Even though Victor is an assassin and he is very brutal at times, he was very soft towards Sari, and he helped her through a lot of different things, her emotions, her trauma. He let her talk about her trauma, and he just listened, and he was very, I don't know, I have a little soft spot for him. But there is a lot of violence in this book. There is a lot of talk about sexual assault, a lot of talk about captivity, a lot of talk about drug use, obviously murder. So it is not a cut and dry book like that. It has a lot of depth to it, and I just really enjoyed it. And I picked up the second one, but today is Thursday, so we have to end this vlog here. But in the next vlog, you will see me be reading the next one, which is Reviving Isabel. So I am hooked to this series. I got to about the 34% mark of Reviving Isabel last night, and I am so excited to continue. So that's it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the books that I read, and let me know if you've read any of them down below. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I will see you on the next one. It's going to be another romance one. Woo!